Good morning, everybody. This is Emily Wong from EaseCentral. I'm the Customer Success Manager, and you guys are all attending the Plan Template Libraries webinar. So a few housekeeping items with GoToWebinar. All of you are on mute. So if you have any questions as we're going through the presentation, you can ask those in the sidebar in your GoToWebinar. So you can submit those, and we will have those answered as we're going along. Any that do not get addressed during the webinar, we will respond to you and reach out after our presentation. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. So we will be going over our plan template library. So this is a new feature that we added within the last couple weeks. We heard your requests for a way to copy plans to use them on other companies. So we listened to your polite questions and demands, so we will be going over that today. So let me log into the webinar as a broker. So where you can see plan libraries is up in your blue bar right next to reports. And just a quick note on reports, we are having an upcoming webinar on custom reports. So I do hope that you will attend that. I believe it's next Wednesday or the following. So please register for that if you haven't already. So for libraries, what you'll do is you'll come to the libraries page. So one of the first things I want to review is why you would build a library. One of the things that this would help with is making the setup of future clients faster. As you know, as some of you may know, CalChoice and Choice Builder tend to offer many of the same plans. They may have 20, and as you're building your new company, you don't want to build that 20 times for every client. So this will help you build it once, and then you can add it to future companies. It will also help with consistency, your naming conventions, the forms that are being added, if you're adding plan summaries, that sort of thing. So that will be those are the few main reasons why you'd want to do that. So to get started, there's going to be two typical scenarios that you would add a library. One would be if you're starting from scratch. If you're a newer EaseCentral user, you might not have a lot of portals built. So you can set them up that way. The other way would be to copy existing plans that you have on existing companies. So if you have a company that has all of the CalChoice plans that you've already built, you can copy those and add those to the library. And I'll go over that scenario as well. So the very first thing you want to do, regardless of the situation, is click Add Library. And you want to give it a name, and we recommend using a name that will be intuitive to other people that are able to see your libraries, and that's going to be any of your agency employees. So any of your brokers that use the same portal will see them. So you don't want to name your library something like Emily's Library, because no one's going to know what that contains. So we have a couple different suggestions. If you're going to do maybe all medical plans, maybe you name them, medical plan for 2016. If you tend to offer all of the same medical plans to your clients, that would be a good name for it. If you're going to do something like CalChoice, if there's a specific area or quarter that you're using, you may want to name it something like CalChoice Area 12 Q2. So you know what you're pulling when you're adding the library to your companies. And this will all make sense once we actually do that. So I'm going to do CalChoice Q2 2016. So we're going to imagine that we're adding all CalChoice plans. So I'll add my library. So now it's here. So then the next thing you'd want to do is add your plan template. So this is a scenario where we have no other plans. We're starting from scratch. So we'll click Add Plan Template, and this would just be like building any other plan. So I'm going to build a medical plan. I'm going to name it the proper name. So again, you want to make sure you're very explicit in the name so someone that's adding it to a company that maybe didn't build this library knows what they're adding. So let's do CalChoice Anthem PPO 25 Area 12. Click Add Plan, and then we'll go through the normal steps of populating these areas. So if you're going to have your plan be COBRA eligible, you can select if appropriate, If you'd like to set these rules as well, you can check the appropriate boxes. For any of those clients that do have access to a GA library, this data down here, deductible, office visit, etc., will be populated once you add your rates. So regarding rates, you can add them if it's going to be consistent amongst all groups. So for example, if everybody in area 12, that's typically the area that you offer to, you can add those. What you may also want to do if you don't want to add rates and you want to build more of a shell, you can maybe note, no rates included. So the person that's adding the plan will remember that there's no rates on this, so they add them later. So I will set the rates here. Let's do 5-1. Do California, do Cal Choice, rating 12, group, and I'm just going to pick this first one even though that's not the plan name I picked, and we'll set the rates. So those are now populated. The forms page, so if we want to add in the form, so we make sure we always have the right one added. Let's do this one. And then if you want to add any documents, the plan summary, if you have any any documents that you always include on your plans, maybe like a link to the plan or the provider directory, you could add that. So why don't we do that? Let's just add Google here, since that's an easy one. And we'll add that link. So now all of the items that we've added here, the form, the document, the rates, the profile, will all be part of the shell that gets added when we add it to our company. So if we go back to our library, we see that we have a plan here. So you would just continue to do that if you're building from scratch. Otherwise, let's go to our test company. So I'm ready to add my plans. Let's pretend I just built this portal. So I'll go to my plans page. So when you're ready to add your plans, you'll click Add Plan, and you'll see that you'll have an option to pick from a library. Now I am signed in to our broker portal where all of these employees have access, so that's why we see multiple ones here. So I think I did area, what did I do? These? So this is my plan. Now had I had multiple plans, all of them would come up in this list. So if for some reason you didn't offer a specific plan, all you would do is click the X to not include it in this offering. So I'm going to add an effective date, and these will get added. This one plan will get added to my setup here. So here it is. So then what you would then need to do, you'd want to click on the name. And I'm not sure if you noticed, but the eligibility and the contributions were not part of the original shell that we were adding because these are all company-specific data. So you'll need to populate if there's any specific rules that are for this company, perhaps just a location, scheduled hours. You can put in the policy number, the waiting period, etc. So you will want to populate that. And then the contributions that are specific for this company, you'll want to put those in. So let's say the employee pays 100% of everything. Okay. So now this one's ready to go. So go back to our plans page. Now, if you were in the other scenario where you wanted to add existing plans to your library, let's pretend these are Cal Choice plans. What you would do is go to whichever portal you're copying plans from, or whichever company. You check the box next to the plan name. Under tasks, you'll have the option to add it to a plan library. So you can either create a brand new one. So if you were adding all Cal Choice plans, you could click give a new name here. So you could do Cal Choice, 2016. Or if you wanted to add them to your existing library, you could do that by clicking whichever library you wanted to add it to. So I'll add it to mine. I'll update it. And now you can see that these other two plans were added. So this is my bigger library. So you could theoretically go through all of your companies and pull plans that are already added. We do recommend building full libraries. It'll save you time in the long run, so you could add voluntary life plans, basic life plans, STD, LTD. If those are typical plans that you offer your companies, you can pull from those, and then when you have your new companies to add them to, you can just use that library, delete any plans that are not applicable, and you're ready to go. All you need to do is add the eligibilities and the contributions. So let me go to my test company. And what I always recommend too, after you build plans or make any updates, is always test to make sure everything looks okay. So I recommend adding a test employee and going through and seeing if the rates, the plans, everything look okay. So I'm going to enroll this employee. So here's my plan that I added. This is the link and this is the rate. So that looks okay. What I also recommend doing is logging in as the employee to see their view. As you know, the employee view is slightly different than what we see as a broker or admin user. So I'm going to log in as Kai. Hello, Kai. We'll get started. I'm just going to jump directly to the benefits to see how it looks for the employee. And I always recommend logging in as the employee because you can see their view and it will look a little different. So Google, they might not know that this is a link. So what I tend to recommend is maybe adding verbiage that says click here, because some people might just think, oh, there's Google right there. But if they click on it, they would know it's a link and they could go to either the plan directory or whatever it is. So that's a tip that might be helpful. You also can double check your spelling, make sure that there's info here that is relevant to the employee. Maybe the employee doesn't need to know that it's area 12, so we can take that off. You also want to check this for spelling errors, mapping, make sure it goes to the right form, that the right box is being checked, is the cost correct, that sort of thing. So always test too. So that looks okay. So now my plans have been added and we are good. So again, you can access the libraries from here. You can build any plan libraries. You can add to pull plans from your existing companies, add them so you have a full array of them. These libraries are shared within your brokerage, so you guys may want to have a quick powwow with your teammates to go over how you're going to name them, how you want to add them. You can add them all for, you could do all medical plans, perhaps all dental, and all of the plans and libraries that you add will be accessible when you go to the plans page. When you click add plan, so all of the libraries you see here. So these are all the libraries that the EaseCentral users have added as we're testing. So if you guys do the same and add your libraries, just make sure that when you're adding them, the way you name them, it's intuitive to what you're actually adding to the library or you're picking from. So I recommend getting in there, testing it out. If you do have any questions, we are here for you. You can contact us at our support helpline, and that number is 800-446-3273. Again, 800-446-3273. We also have email access. You can email us at support@easecentral.com. We do have staff here from 6:30 a.m. Pacific to 5 p.m. Pacific. So we are here for a large chunk of the day, hopefully available to East Coast and West Coast, as well as Central and Mountain clients. So again, we're here to help you if you're running into anything. If you have questions about, is this the best way to use it? How would you suggest I set this up? Please reach out to us and we're happy to help you. If you do have any questions, please send those to us either via the webinar portal or by sending an email to support@easecentral.com. Otherwise, thanks for your time. We do have 2 more webinars coming up next Wednesday. I believe we're going over compensation statements, and then the following week we're going over reports. So please sign up for those if you haven't already. We also will be recording these meetings and have them available to those that aren't able to join us live. So again, thank you for your time, and we'll be in touch. Have a good day. Thanks.